All right, guys, this is Coach T, the Polepreneur, and I'm back with part 2 regarding independent contractors and employees. So on the very first video, I did a quick overview regarding the differences between the controls and the expectations and stuff like that. So today I'm going to dive much deeper into 1099s, like really the things that you get to do when you live in a 1099 world. When you live in a 1099 world, you are the business. You are the star. In the very first video, I said, if you're working for a pole studio because you said, I don't want to start my own pole brand, I don't want to start my own pole business, but you're a 1099, and I said you already did, you did, because you're really classified as a business. So remember when COVID happened and people were able to get PPP loans because they were independent contractors? Lyft, Uber, Instacart deliverers, you're able to get PPP loans because you're an independent contractor, because you work for yourself. You create your own schedule, you create your own brand, you set your own prices, or you can, right? You have your own metrics to abide by. So like if you say for example you work for Lyft, right? And they say you can earn X amount on this bonus. You can earn X amount if you go out today and you make 50 rides, okay? And say you decide, you roll over that day and you're like, you know what, it's too pretty outside, I'm not trying to drive people around. No, I don't want to do it. You have the authority over your own life to realize profit and loss, to realize whether you want to make more money or not. If you're an employee and the company says, we're having a surge, and so everybody, we need you now to do 50 rides a day, and doing that, we're going to go ahead and pay you. But irregardless, you still have to do it, and you roll over and you say, it's sunny outside, I'm not doing it, I don't care, they can keep the bonus. Your employer can say, you didn't show up, it's sunny outside, you're fired, okay? So that's the difference, all right? So an independent contractor, while you have a lot of responsibility, you also have a lot of freedom, okay? So the things that you can do as an independent contractor, you can create your own brand. You can hire people up under you to fill in work for you. So like say, for example, you need an assistant who helps your scheduling, or you want to train a mentee to teach like you. So in case you get an offer to work someplace and you just can't particularly do that day, you can send your mentee in who could do exactly what you can do. You get to use your own tools. You get to use your own methods. You get to drive around in a decked out car with your brand all over it. You get to write things off for business expenses. You have your own identity. The issue that I see a lot of the times is independent contractors who are hired as independent contractors still have an employee mindset. They still think like employees. They show up on day one and they're like, oh my gosh, you're not going to train me? No. There is no training unless the training that you pay for yourself. So when you're going out and you're seeing these pole studios and they're saying, hey, I'll train you, and the cost is $2,500, the cost is $3,000. It's because if you invest in that, that is a write-off. Now, up to however much it is, that is to be determined by your CPA. Full disclosure, I am not a tax accountant. I am not a lawyer. So you have to make sure that on your own individual circumstance, you're getting legal help and legal guidance. It is written. You can go out, you can search the internet, irs.gov, all of that today, and find out that there are a list of things that you can write off when you are a 1099. You can eventually get loans. You can structure it as an LLC versus a sole proprietorship. You're supposed to have business license, business insurance. You should be able to provide these things. So when you're hired onto a studio, you should be able to provide like your DBA or your LLC documents, your formation documents, your EIN. You should be able to do those things, okay? So a 1099, if you're not operating like that, you should be, okay? You can set up vendor accounts, meaning like with Xpol, with Pleaser, if you can hit those numbers, and you can come in and sell stuff. Like you can sell, like if you created your own pole journal like I have, or your own pole grip formula like I have, you could be able to go in and sell that to your clients. Like you can advertise, you can go on and advertise your own personal skill set on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you know what I mean? Like you could create a brand. Just because you work for a pole studio does not mean that you cannot be creating your own brand. If you are classified as a 1099, you should be. You are literally just a walking business. That's what a 1099 is. It's a business in a person. That's a 1099. You are the business. It's your mind, it's your skill set, it's your output. It's the way that you market yourself. You are a 1099. Now I want to jump to, well, if I'm a 1099, does that mean I have total freedom? And this is the thing that I struggle with as a pole studio owner, because it would burn my butt when, I'm looking at this IRS list, I'm looking at this checklist, and I'm like, I felt it to be so unfair that, okay, so if I hire a 1099, they could just run through my business, they could just run through me, they could just do whatever. Like, what about my protection as a business owner? Well, it really comes down to the agreement. You still have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. There's still a non-compete clause, okay? And each jurisdiction is different on how they would enforce that. But you're not allowed to just come in and get close to me and learn everything that I do and then just run away into the sunset with everything I've ever built. No, you can't do that, okay? But I cannot get in the way of you being able to build a livelihood, because if you're saying that you are an independent business, you have to be able to make a living. And if I have such rules enforced that hinders your ability to make a living, I am overstepping my boundaries. But if you come in and you have deceitful motives and you are trying to steal customers or things like that, whatever the case is, I have protections as well. Okay. So those are the non-disclosures, the non-disparagement. Like, you still have to provide a decent service. If you are tarnishing my brand name because I hired you and went into an agreement and you're not fulfilling the service, if you're doing things that are unsafe, if you're not the professional that you said that you were, if you are not showing up and you're not fulfilling the contract, then I don't have to do business with you. Okay. So again, just like my first business, I referenced plumber. So think plumber. If I hired a plumber to come into my studio because my toilet was clogged, and you come in and you bring in a broom, right? I'm looking at you and I'm like, you don't even have the right tool set. You don't have the right know-how. No, I'm canceling this contract. Don't come in anymore. Contract is canceled because you really were not the professional that you said that you were. And then if you created damage or anything like that, I could turn around and sue you or sue your company because, you were not what you said you were, fraud. So I have protections as a pole studio owner as well. It's not just your world and you can just run through different studios and do whatever you feel like and turn them up on their back. Cannot do that. So that's really the difference with an independent contractor, is know that you have to be the professional. And with that being said, as a studio owner, if you're going to hire an independent contractor and you want that high level of service and you want that high level of respect and you want people to truly understand it, they have to understand all the freedoms that they have as an independent contractor first. They have to know that, because my struggle was I would hire an independent contractor and they would see all the freedoms that they had and they would want to live and play in that world, but they wouldn't see the respect that they also had to bring and the fulfillment of the job duty that they had to bring. And there was a miscommunication regarding like, oh, you're supposed to train me. You're supposed to supply this for me. You're supposed to promote for me. You're supposed to get me clients. No, I'm not. I'm supposed to provide this, and I'm hiring you because I'm saying, essentially as a pole studio owner, I'm saying people are coming to me and they want this particular class. I'll give an example. People are coming to me and they want a twerk class. Well, I don't twerk, or I don't have anybody on staff that twerks, so I need to hire a twerkologist, okay? I need a twerkologist. You over there, I've been watching your page. I've looked at your website, right? Key, probably independent contractor. I've seen that you do events here, and here. I would love to hire you to come on in, right? On a regular basis. Here's another key point. Independent contractors, they have terms. That means 6 months, 9 months. After a year, you have to take a break in most jurisdictions. So check that law. So I can't just hire you indefinitely. There has to be a term. So I'm like, all right, so for the next 6 months, I want to offer twerk classes. Twerkologists, come on over here. Let's sign this agreement. We agreed on the hours. We agreed on the dates. We agreed on the stipulations regarding the class. We agreed on the advertisements, the graphics, all of that. Let's go. So it allows you as a studio owner, when you're hiring an independent contractor, to pick strong professionals, people that know what it means to be an independent contractor. So they typically walk in that respect of an independent contractor. They know what they could do. They know what they can't. They know that they have to deliver. They know that they can't just run through your studio just for fame and fortune. They understand they have to deliver and that you have some protections too. They understand they can't come in and observe your business and say, oh, okay, well, I see how she markets, or I see how she does his decorations, or I see how, she hires people. I'm going to go, steal that, and I'm going to go tell, my other friend how to do this. So you can't do stuff like that. It's a non-disclosure agreement. All right. So hopefully that helps clear it up. If you are an independent contractor, if you are a 1099, and if you are not realizing profit and loss, please call me. Please set up an appointment with me. Let's have a conversation. Let's get you established as a true business so that you can realize those rewards. And let's work together on how you can talk to the studio owner that you work for to see if, now that you've realized this, are you still a good fit? Because if you're not optimizing being an independent contractor, you are truly missing out on the benefits. All right. You as a walking business, you are missing out on the benefits of being an independent contractor if you do not realize profit and loss. What you're trying to do is get the benefits of an independent contractor, but not actually expose yourself to any risk. And that's not what an independent contractor is. So call me if you have questions. I am Coach T, the Polepreneur. Thank you so much for watching part 2 of independent contractor versus W-2 employee. And I have a third one coming up for part 3, employees.